But Gregory Rabbit Stewart, man, he was one of them young guys that he was already sharp to the game because he was kind of grew up in it and was groomed in it. At the age of 4 years old, he saw his mother's boyfriend killed in the living room right in front of his face. So you know that was a very devastating event for a young kid to see at the start of his childhood. Then you turn around, he getting in trouble back and forth. He around all these killers. He around all these guys that showing him love in the neighborhood. And in the same time, you seeing that they treat you as a star for doing the wrong things, for murder, for robbery, for breaking in, carjacking. The hood treating you like a celebrity. So this young guy, Rabbit Stewart, he picked up on the game. Then he was hanging with two well-respected killers. Was groomed by this guy named Lou and this guy named Slugger. He looked up to them, and he was a young guy that they respected and admired because he was so sharp and so much of a thoroughbred as a young guy. You know what I'm saying? He was a young guy that they could trust, that they knew he wasn't gonna snitch, and then he knew how to perform in situations that calls for you to think fast. After Katrina, we all know, man, a lot of people around the city of New Orleans was scuffling for scraps, scuffling to get by, man. These people practically lost everything. You have people like Darryl Breezy Franklin that sat back, that was the OGs in the hood that was already hustling and already a few years above Gregory Rabbit Stewart that saw that spark in him. And see, these guys took him on, and they showed him the money side of the game. And they was there for him. He got out, you know what I'm saying, out of jail after the Katrina went down. You had Darryl Breezy Franklin. He had already got the line going to Houston. So he was pretty much the plug. Then he got locked in with Merle O'Fray, who was a big dog that was already known getting their money and locking things down. So once they came together and collaborated, man, that was a dynamic duo. And they kept paying attention, and they brought in Gregory Stewart, in which he played his role to a T because he brought a gang of young guys that looked up to him and admired him. And they was down with the same thing he was down with. So they locked the area down. He got out and they was kicking it at the Wing Shack end, and they had that locked down. But Gregory Rabbit Stewart, he went back and opened up the block that he was from on the G Strip. He had got that back pumping. So you know, as him being a young guy in the streets in the game, and for him to be able to be that solidified to lock it down like that and really get some traction and get some motion and be respected, that say a lot about that guy street credibility. Started beefing with these guys out of the Calio. They were Magnolia Shorty partner Jerome Hampton. That was the guy Magnolia Shorty was dealing with at the time. And when they pulled the hit out on him, he had ran his mouth to the point where he was telling people he was gonna knock out Merle O'Fray, the big dog, the money man. So once the 3NG guys caught wind of it, you already know they ready to boot up and do their thing and knock him off to keep their empire going. Cause y'all gotta always realize it's about this money and these drugs. That's the whole thing. These guys were balling. The other guys in the hood probably felt like, cause New Orleans full of killers. So you respected as a killer, but that don't mean you respected that they still won't kill you. The same principles for any other city, but these guys had their mark laid down on 3rd and G in their little area. But these Calio Porch boys, they didn't like this. It was a problem. The premeditation of the hits, the planning of the hits these guys do. Man, they putting these hits together like football plays. If you listen to any of the transcript or any of the court documents or read anything on this game, man, these guys was putting these hits together so planned like assassins, man. They were putting people on corners. They was having people following people undetected. They was getting the phone calls on where people live. You know, they had it on lock. But it's them small, simple mistakes you make that knock off everything. They got caught at a hotel, got kicked out of the hotel, and left a firearm in there from the Magnolia shooting. Magnolia Shorty murder and the Jerome Hampton murder. And then to show you that these guys got a heart, Gregory Rabbit Stewart got a heart, and then he did love his homeboys. The guy that got fired from work, that was working at the hotel, he started giving him of free packages of dope and put money in his pocket because he felt sorry for being the cause of this guy losing his job. See, some of these things just be hood politics, and it just be the way you raised, man. You raised up around all this gun violence, all this murder, all this deceit, all this treachery. You know what I'm saying? You in the belly of the beast. So you gotta really understand it, turn into survival of the fittest, man. And a lot of times you can't judge these guys in these situations because they victims of circumstance. But we do gotta fault these guys that they know they stepping in this water and then they get up on their stand and snitch because you already know what you signed up for.